Namaskar and welcome to DD Dialogue Battle for Karnataka. While tracking the assembly election dates as they draw closer, we're here in Mysuru. Now, Mysuru has a rich history, vibrant present and a promising future. Everything from sandalwood to silk saris to softwares, you get it here in Mysuru, and Mysuru, old Mysuru in particular, also has significant political importance, and we're here to talk about the political ambitions, visions, issues of the people. The theme for session 1 of DD Dialogue, Battle for Karnataka, is development versus corruption. To whatever degree we follow the politics in the country and outside, we understand that development and corruption are fundamental words that have a great bearing on our present and future. And we have leaders from across the political spectrum here to talk about it, their perspective. Each party promises a big development agenda. At the same time, they also face serious allegations of corruption. So where do they stand at the moment? What are your questions? Are something that we're also going to take forward. My name is Shubhendu Ghosh. Let me quickly welcome our panelists for the conversation. Shri Ashok Gowda, leader of the BJP. Shall we put our hands together for the leaders who are joining us today? Shri M.N. Suraj Hegde, Vice President, Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee. Welcome, sir. Shri Gangadhar Gowda, General Secretary of the JDS. Shri Prithviraj Reddy, State Convener, Aam Aadmi Party. And we also have with us political analyst Ms. Preeti Nagaraj. A warm welcome to all the guests. And a warm welcome to all the people of Mysuru who are joining us, many youngsters who are going to determine the political future of Karnataka and thereby also of the nation. We'll turn to you in the final part, about 10-15 minutes towards the conclusion of this conversation, where we'll take your question. So shall we put our hands together for people of Mysuru also as they decide the future of the state? Right, thank you very much. Without any further ado, we're talking about development. Let's first get the opening remarks from our guests about what is their perspective on development of the state. What do they promise in this election, this agenda of development? If we can begin with you, Ashok Gowda ji. What is the agenda of development you're presenting to the people in these elections?
BJP has always believed it's not just an infrastructural development. We should also be safe, secure, and the most important development what we have focused is, we call it as Antyodaya. The bottom of the pyramid, or the last man in the chain link, should also be benefited from the social welfare schemes of the government, as well as he should have a dignity of life, as most of us can afford, or even the people who cannot afford. The people who are stressed because of their background or because of whatever the economic, social and cultural reasons, they should also get the pie of the cake as what we all get. That is development for us, and they should feel safe, secured, and try to be a good citizen is what we all want our citizens to be. So this is what BJP believes as development, and Antyodaya is what the word what we use for it.
Right, Mr. Hegde, your opening thoughts, sir. The vision of development, Vikas, that you present to the people.
The vision of development, basically we have been doing a lot of development from where we started, pre-independence till date, when we even could not manufacture a pin to where we exist today. Over and above that, see, development should be inclusive. It should not be at the cost of an environment being destroyed, trees being cut rampantly. It should be an inclusive development which includes everybody across the spectrum of the society. Equal distribution of wealth. Elrigu Samabalu, Samapalu. We believe in that, and we believe in a person's self-respect being valued. That is the development we always think of.
Mr. Gowda, your opening thoughts, sir, on the idea of development, the vision that you're presenting to the people.
Our party manifesto is, the primary motive is develop the state with beautiful programs. I can name the programs even in the manifesto of the coming forth election also, declared by our leader, ex-Chief Minister and would-be Chief Minister Sri H.D. Kumaraswamy, he has made some Panchatantra Yojanas. That Pancharatna Yojana means, first, health, free health for everybody. In foreign countries also, they are motivating the free health and education. This is the most important. That is the basic also. So free health, improvement of primary health centers from Gram Panchayat level to district level, free education from first standard to 12th standard, and women empowerment and using of youth power for the purpose of production of an industry, whatever it may be in tech, IT, BT, whatever it may be. Fourth one, women empowerment, financial assistance for Sri Shakti Sanghas, they make their own entrepreneur. And fifth one, in Canada they are Suru, means even everybody needs a shelter. These are all basically, and recently last 3 days back he has also announced giving 5 to 6 subsidy without money, without charging anything for the poor people, giving the gas cylinders. This is also indirect way of developing the
Okay.
State also. I am not telling about the nation and other things. What our leader is telling, my comment is stricted to state only.
Sure.
These are the plans we are doing.
Sure. So all sections you present a bigger vision. We'll get into the details, sir, as we move forward in the conversation. Prithviraj Reddy ji, Aam Aadmi Party, I mean, it was born out of the idea of fighting against corruption and taking development forward. Delhi, Punjab, but in Karnataka, you knew. What is the idea? What is the promise that you present to the people in these elections?
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಡೆ ಆಯಿತು, ನಾನು ಕಲಬುರಗಿಯಿಂದ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದೆ, ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಲೇಟ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಸೊ ಕ್ಷಮೆ ಇರಲಿ. I think since it's a very critical debate, we first need to define what development is. I came from Bangalore by car and it was such a pleasant experience to reach here. In 2 hours, I was afraid I wouldn't make it. That is also development, right? So in the Aam Aadmi Party, when the party was formed, we had a very interesting discussion that if the government has 100 rupees and you had the choice of building a flyover or you had a choice of building a school, which one would you do first? Both are important. If you build the flyover first, you have 100 hungry children living under the flyover. Whereas if you build the school first, we believe that children passing out of that school will build 100 flyovers. So we've stuck to this idea of development. We believe that education, healthcare, basic needs for a dignified life is what the government needs to do. We are very, very happy that you said we are a new party, but it's wonderful to see after 75 years that all the major parties have adopted education, healthcare, women and youth as primary focus in their manifestos, whether it's saying that we will give free education or healthcare. I think this is half the battle won. In Karnataka, we need to recognize that unfortunately development has been restricted to Bangalore. Bangalore is collapsing. People from Kalaburgi to Chamarajanagar, whether it's someone, a youth who has completed his engineering and is looking for an IT job, or some coolie who's looking for a construction job, they all are having to come to Bangalore. It's a state which has not developed uniformly. We would pay a lot of focus and attention on ensuring that all the regions of Karnataka develop equally.
Good. I think that broadens also our conversation. We're just not talking about a development in a unilateral way, but the perspectives on the manner in which leaders in political parties see development. Ms. Preeti Nagaraj, if I can come to you, ma'am. Your take on the centrality that the issues of development, at the same time issues of corruption take, and how difficult a choice does it become for the people of Karnataka, because along with big promises, as I mentioned, also comes allegations of big corruption. How do people choose then?
Yeah, thank you so much. This is a very crucial question. asking every party to define development. I think we should have also asked them to define corruption.
Yes, we will
Right?
eventually.
So
Yes.
yeah, that's one thing. And second thing is, when I hear all the representatives speak, it makes me feel like I'm in some sort of a heaven, because every party has got its definition of development so sorted
Right.
that I feel, okay, we must have been in some sort of a utopia. And
You almost
also-
wish they worked together to
Yes,
make it happen,
I really wish all these good minds had worked together, had worked with gender inclusivity. As you can see, we have, a very poor gender balance here. I wish this improved. And also, we listen to a lot of youngsters about what kind of a state, what kind of nation, what kind of infrastructure do they want to take from us, that we save it for them. Every party has had a majority of old leaders, senior leaders, and I totally understand from the party's perspective that you need to reward the experience, you need to honor the experience, you need to kind of learn from experience. But how far does this experience alone become a sort of a format, a template for people to even voice out their opinions, voice out their expectations? Are they even listening? Are the leaders who have 1, 2, 3 elections, or second generation leaders, are they even listening to people, or are they just surrounded by the yes men around them? And I see very less women participation around the state elections. This time, as you can see, in Karnataka elections, every time we used to at least have a discussion and debate on how many women have been given tickets. If you see this time, we are not even talking about it. We are only talking about a particular community.
Right. No, we're doing it at Doordarshan, we're doing it, but yet again, the ball is in the court of the
Yeah,
parties. But that's a valuable point that you made, man. And if we take the conversation forward, and also from what you mentioned, this platform, such a platform becomes important, where people can directly engage with the representative of the political parties. Let's take the conversation forward. We've got a perspective on development. Let's talk about the word which is a big worry for every individual in the state, the nation as a whole. Corruption, the idea of corruption, allegations that fly around, who to trust, who not to trust. Ashok Gauraji, I'll begin with you. The allegations against a BJP state government over corruption. The allegations this time over, as compared to any state elections, has been louder than ever. And I'm quoting, words that are thrown around for people outside of Karnataka are also getting familiar, or 40% commission, pace. These are not words that I've invented, the words that are doing rounds, not only as political allegation, but also from different sections of society. What is your take on how does it overshadow your development agenda when such serious charges of corruption are faced by the state government?
I would say that this is not serious charge. Of course, Congress has been successful in making it look like serious charge, but it is another toolkit of Congress, which is a standard toolkit which is used against BJP. I'm not saying that they are not successful because they are very catchy words, 40% and PCM. They are very catchy words, and they have used these tools, the new age tools, whether it is PTM, PCM, and it is a percentage which Congress was fully inserted in. So the same tool they used it against us, and apparently they are not been successful. We have actually mapped and we have gone through the ground and we have asked, do you think we BJP guys have taken 40% and what is your perception on the PCM? See, when a benefit has reached a beneficiary, for example, whether it is in Ujjwala scheme, whether it is in Awas Yojana, whether it is Swachh Bharat Yojana, whether it is in Janaushadhi Kendras, whether it is their Ishram, the people who are unregistered karmics, they have got the benefit. And most of the people in Karnataka have said that this is an allegation, but why are you not answering? So we started answering 6 months back, and we are successful in making sure that our voters, that is Karnataka voters, are aware of it. Of course, on a casual note, if on a something like, for example, see, we should not make a fun of any Sikh. But whenever we see a Sardarji, we think that we just pass a joke. And that is not right. And the same thing what is happening with BJP is like, whenever we say something, oh, 40% cut. That is what is happening. And I would say that as a psophologist, more than a BJP spokesperson, there is three things to win an election. There is a performance, there is a perception, and there is a narrative. So narrative is built against BJP by Congress, and they were successful in last year, 22, in the beginning few months, and later we have countered it well. And in fact, Congress or Janata Dal or even say Aam Aadmi Party does not have any moral grounds to blame BJP, saying that Congress history is known, whether it is a Jaipur kingdom which was looted, whether it was Jeep scam which happened for the first time in 1948, till the Bofors scam or even till the National Oil scam.
Right.
Or
So
whether
you're coming
it is,
with-
I'll just take
Sure,
another
sure.
30 seconds, or whether it is JDS, the nice corridor which is never built from Mysore till Bangalore, they 10 rupees the lease, or Tungabhadra dam, check dam schemes, or even there are so many other things. And even Aam Aadmi Party, which is just a 10-year-old party, and there are already 3 stalwart leaders who have been pinned down into the jail.
All right,
And
let me take that point, sir.
50,000 crores is the loot money from the liquor gate scam.
So it'll be good, sir, if we talk about our perspective.
Can you ask him to repeat that figure?
We'll talk about that.
50,000 crores.
50,000 crore, but we'll give you a chance to answer now. Allegation against allegation really doesn't take us anywhere, but I think at one point Congress would be happy to know that the BJP thinks you are technologically very advanced and you put the tools to best use, but what is your perspective on it? And you're also a party which is not devoid of corruption charges traditionally and in these elections. Mr. Hegde, your take.
Basically, these parties came to power telling that Congress is corrupt and they're going to eliminate corruption. Everybody's account is going to get 15 lakhs. All the black money hidden in Swiss bank is going to be come back.
But state politics. Yes.
Just coming back to politics of the, what is the discussion between development and corruption? We have made this road, Mysore road, coming from Bangalore to Mysore. It's a good road, appreciable. That's development. But what is corruption? The charges that they collect toll, within a month, it was increased by 100 rupees. After there's a protest, then it goes back. You're privatizing every government property, giving it to private institutions or companies. All ports, all airports, all public, whatever was the public properties have been
Could you
sold.
specifically come to the issues of the state politics, the 40% allegation that you've been leveling, PCM.
I'm just coming to it, Sumanduji. I'm just coming to it. 40% is not leveled by me or our party. It is leveled by the chairman of the Contractors Association. A letter was written to the Prime Minister, which is yet not answered to, telling this has happened. And after that, their ministers, one after another, told this is all the corruption charges that are being faced by the Chief Minister. Chief Minister's post is being sold for 2,500 crores. These are not allegations made by us.
And Hegdeji, your party also is facing serious charges of corruption of selling tickets for seats.
See,
how do you respond to that?
This
when
is
you
the norm.
put allegations against a party, you also have to justify what is being voted against.
See, you just tell me which person has made an allegation. If it has been true, it is why don't they take action? That is what they kept telling on against us initially also. That so many years of corruption has happened. Who came to power telling that? And why no action was telling? Even Aam Aadmi Party came to power.
that's the perception on which people have also
India
voted
against
out
corruption.
Congress,
India
several
against corruption, if you remember, is the movement that they started.
No, you
telling
give a
that-
perspective. You can give a perspective on where you stand as per that allegation, but you've made that point.
Just one last
Okay.
30 seconds,
Sure,
last 30 seconds I'll take. If it is India against corruption, what they came against, telling that they're going to build Lokpal bill, I want to ask my friend, has the Lokpal bill been implemented or not?
But that doesn't answer the question of corruption charges faced by the Congress. But I've got your point.
Please take action.
Let me come to Aam Aadmi Party. Mr. Prithviraj, Aam Aadmi Party, as you mentioned, rose on the anti-corruption plank. But as has been pointed out, and as people also know, their senior leaders in Delhi, which is like the bastion of Aam Aadmi Party, if I may say that, are serving sentences in jail. Aam Aadmi Party has said that they're innocent and the case is still going on. How do you then defend your idea of development and fight against corruption in Karnataka when people can see senior leaders in Delhi facing such charges? Your point.
So I'd like to make a correction to what you said. You said someone is facing sentences. No, it's because the CBI and the ED have said that they need them for questioning, that they're inside. There is
But the
no,
court has also allowed them to be
absolutely,
remand.
because the law says
Yes.
that they are allowed to be kept for a certain period of time, and we are appealing through the law.
Of course, it's not proven.
Serving a sentence, I'm correcting you.
Yeah.
Serving a sentence is when you're proven guilty. So nothing like that has happened.
Okay, charges of corruption.
The reason these are arising is because the BJP has failed completely in delivering any of their promises. Now the Aam Aadmi Party has set a certain standard of public service deliveries, whether it is in healthcare or education, that the BJP was forced in Gujarat after 40 years in politics. Mr. Amit Shah was forced to go and inaugurate a classroom. Mr. Modi did not have a school to show, so he went and sat in an exhibition classroom to say that they are going to set up. So we have changed the narrative. Now, when you can't compete with someone based on the delivery of your promises, then you try to paint them in the same brush, saying that they are also corrupt. Now, the BJP spokesperson should actually be embarrassed because he gave too much credit to the Congress, saying the Congress are making allegations. It was the Contractor Association president whom shamelessly 82-year-old man, 14 days after he suffered a massive heart attack, was locked up in jail by these people. There was this private school association which made the same allegation. There was the Mutts, where they claimed to be a Hindu party. The leaders of the Mutts said to get their donations that they need to pay a bribe. It was not just that, it was a Karyakarta of the BJP who had to commit suicide for them to start moving and taking action. Now, the gentleman used a figure of 50,000 crores, which is laughable because the figure is supposed to be 100 crores, is what the courts and the CBI, but they cook up their own figures like the 15 lakhs in each person's account and the Swiss bank account. They are all talk and no delivery. Now, that's as far as the BJP goes.
But in defense
As far
of
as
Aam Aadmi
Karnataka goes, you see a lot of people sitting here don't understand the impact of corruption. For them, corruption is the bribe they are paying the policeman 100 rupees for a traffic offense, RTO na 500 rupai. The real corruption that's happening is what they are doing, which is looting of natural resources, selling away of government assets. This is, they sold a power company to Adani in Mangalore. After selling it to them, they have increased the price of purchase of power by 40%, which is what each one of us are paying. 40%. So it's not just the 40% which otherwise could have given you free education, free healthcare, ensured that basic necessities are available.
Okay.
You're not just getting that, but they sold the Ahmedabad airport to Adani.
Right, but
The
Karnataka,
user
we-
development
yeah.
fees was
We
increased
stay
from
with Karnataka.
104 rupees
I take
to
that point.
1,114 times.
I take
Now
that
that
point.
is corruption.
I take that
And that's
point.
what's happening in Karnataka, and people
I take that point
somehow don't relate to that because they believe it's not my money. Someone is looting some money. And that's why I think the BJP is getting away with
Okay.
it.
Let
I
the
think
BJP
once they
get a-
realize it,
I think there are a lot of important points that you made, and let the BJP, Ashokji, if you would like to answer on it. One, the allegations of corruption are not just coming from the political quarters. Two, when MLAs get arrested from the governing party for corruption, sends out a wrong message to the people, sends out a wrong message about the entire political spectrum. What is your take on that, sir?
See, first point is the Kempanna. Who was Kempanna? Please track his track records. He's a congressman. Whether no, it's. See, one more thing. Let me add it. He had written a letter to Prime Minister. Prime Minister office visits his office. They sit in his office on Friday till Tuesday. He does not even turn out to get into his office and give them a proper documents. Okay, fine. Don't give them a document because they are from the Prime Minister's office officials. You could have gone to court. Why did you not go to court? Why did you not go to Lokayukta? Or why did you not go to any other place? Why did you go and sit in front of Sidramaya and say corruption, corruption, corruption? One second. I did not disturb you, sir. So, corruption, corruption, corruption. Okay. Who is Santosh? Where is Santosh coming from? Santosh, we have a lot of sympathies because he has lost his life. Agreed. But where was the contract? Contract was in Belagaum rural, where our Lakshmi Ebadkar, the Congress MLA who claims to be a stalwart leader of Congress, hails from. And she is the one, all of us know. How does any contractor work? Contractor should go and plead in front of an MLA, otherwise you cannot work even though you are from a ruling party
Are you-
or wherever.
Mr.
anything.
Gowda,
Allegation
No,
was that
let me
the
complete, sir.
allegation
Let me
was
complete. Let
that
me
they
complete.
went to the minister.
Let me
The
complete.
minister harassed
Let
him.
me complete. Let me complete.
Why are you not
Let me-
talking about the
No,
minister?
let me complete. Let me complete. We all know how does the work happens. So that is a Santosh story. Or whether when
It
it
is
comes-
your worker. Santosh is a BJP worker who was
I
working
think-
for
I
Mr.
think,
Shishorappa.
I think, see, this is not a regular TV panel discussions where one can speak over the other.
You can't lie and get away.
No, I'm not
The
lying.
question
These
was
are
very
the
simple.
facts.
Ashok,
No, no,
the
no,
question
they are
was
the
very
facts.
simple. Do the allegations of corruption that are coming to you, you call them all political? What we're saying is we're exploring if these are coming from non-political circles. Do you acknowledge that in the first place, even while you defend yourself?
Agreed.
You
That-
agree that the
Agree.
allegations
No,
are coming
let
from
me-
non-political sides
Yes,
also?
agreed.
Okay.
See, when it is coming from the non-political sides, what is their background had to be checked. That is what is my answer was. That is point number one. Point number two. Agreed that ADGP Amrut Pal, who is also known to me, is under jail. He is in jail now, as well as the Madal Virupakshappa has just taken a bail. But see the similar kind of a situation when Congress was ruling in the Karnataka state. PSI scam also had happened. Transfer scam. One Mr. DYSP Lokesh has given a complaint in iGrounds police station in Bangalore that they have been harassing me for the transfer money and I'm not paying them. Nothing happened.
Okay,
And
we-
why
we-
did you
we've
not?
spent-
Why did you not take action?
So that we
And there are
covered more
so
ground,
many
we'll-
cases during the Congress regime, whether it is from 2013 to 2018, and
Sir,
including
Congress
SR
was not in
Hiremat.
power, so
SR
people, I
Hiremat
think,
has
voted out
alleged.
for the corruption
No,
charges.
let
So-
me
No, no,
just
no,
take 10
allegations.
seconds.
Okay.
He has alleged that there is more than 11,000 crores which has been looted Karnataka resources by Siddharamaya's regime, 8,000 crores in the Redu case and other things. SR Hiremat, who is he? SR Hiremat was a neutral person who criticizes Modi, BJP
But sir, then
every
the
day.
people,
Sir, Hiremat was the person who sent Yediyurappa to jail.
right?
Agreed.
So
So what is his charges on corruption
so
on
the
Sidramaya?
allegations part,
Agreed
sir.
to that also.
So the
Same
allegations
SR Hiremat
part-
says Arvind
Ashok, the
Kejriwal is
allegations
corrupt
part
from top to
will
bottom.
not take us
Agreed to
forward.
that also.
Okay, allegations part will not take us forward. Let me come to you, Preeti Nagaraj ma'am. Corruption, every state, region has its own unique challenges. In Karnataka, the Election Commission also says that money part, for example, is a serious problem. It has to keep a close eye. For the scandals that have happened, for the process of election as it is unfolding, how significant a challenge, according to you, in the state here?
I read somewhere yesterday that the amount of money that has been confiscated by now in Karnataka is about 257 crores across checkposts. So, but that is just money. But there must be other kinds of corruption that has already happened. And I think as much as we loved hearing each one of them define development, the moment you come down to each party, you just see how defensive each party gets and how they wonderfully try to say, no, this is not done by us and someone else did it. But this is the same citizens that that every party should give good administration to. So I hope we all learn to coexist with power and development. As far as corruption is concerned, I think something interesting we have noted is that people's threshold to corruption has increased to a large extent. That we were just having a conversation the other day, and one of the common person, she just said, I'm okay if they take 25%,
When you
but
say the
they should.
threshold has increased, you
Yes,
say that
so
people's
people also
motivations are
think
different.
I'm okay to give 100 rupees to an agent if I can get my license in 2 days. If I can get my driving license in 2 days, I don't mind paying 500. I mean, if I can get my passport in 10 days, I don't mind paying 5,000. So, according to the urgency and also the class to which people belong, like the Bhumi records, like a farmer is okay paying 50 rupees because you've digitized the whole thing and it's inaccessible to him. Personal contacts don't work, as in there is somebody's uncle's son working in the office, but what do you do when there is a server problem? You have denied everybody the access, even with digitization. I'm not I'm not an anti-digitization person, but let's have our infrastructure in place. Every party should be talking about how people are being distanced. There is a distance that's being created between facilities and whatever is due to people, whether it's infrastructure or their own, their own access to good life or their records, their legal rights, everything that a party should. It's a state where people should feel legally safe as well. Has every party worked towards that feeling?
So the
Everybody
idea
talks
of
about giving
development in a more
Yes,
holistic
yes,
manner,
yes.
as you presented. A good point. Again, from corruption, let's return to the idea that we begin with development. Let's now turn to our leaders and learn from them in more specific terms as to the promise of development that they present. What is the change that they wish to bring about in the state? Now, we've been going from in this manner. Let's begin with Aam Aadmi Party. Specifically, in specific terms, if you could tell us about what is the vision you have for the state? What will the people get if Aam Aadmi Party gets the support?
So we have created a manifesto which actually we had consultations across the state. We have a manifesto which starts at a state level, high level. You have a region-wise manifesto and then a district-wise manifesto. We've tried to understand what are the shortcomings in each region because of the developmental imbalance. And we've also tried to identify the opportunities in each region.
Okay.
For example, we are talking about 10 educational hubs. These already exist. But then if it is packaged correctly, there are sufficient cities in Karnataka which can be developed as educational hubs. We are talking about 10 medical hubs because of the medical colleges and the attached hospitals. We are talking about agri hubs and tourism hubs. Tourism, there is plenty to see in Karnataka, but very, very poor infrastructure.
Right.
So
And Mr.
this
Reddy,
is
just wanted to add to that. When you look at your promises, to an extent, it looks like an import of the Delhi model as well, whether it's free electricity, you're talking about education, Mohalla Clinic, again, finds a mention. To what extent is it born out of the needs of Karnataka? To what extent is it an experiment of Delhi being imposed in Karnataka?
so let's be very honest.
Yes.
If 10 years ago, anywhere in the country, you said that government school children can become engineers and doctors, can write competitive exams like IIT. We've had 1,800 students pass the IITG. If you said you could have swimming pools in government schools, people would laugh. If you said that from a tablet to a surgery, that you could avail this at a government hospital, and if a government hospital did not offer that particular service, you could get it done in a private hospital and the government would pay for it, people would laugh.
Okay.
Now,
so you
if
say
you-
that it works for both
So
Delhi and
Delhi was
Karnataka.
very important for us
Okay,
to show
okay,
that it was possible.
Okay.
Now, I believe, and if you ask the audience here, in any family, these are the top two priorities. And it
Sure.
was sad that all these days it was missing in the focus of any party's manifesto. If you talk to any family today, they spend about 30 to 40%, whether it is an auto driver or an IT professional, they spend 30 to 40% of their income on these two aspects.
Okay, then you've made an
And we
important
believe
point there. Right.
that like in the Western world, once you pay taxes, your taxes were meant to provide education and healthcare across the world.
Okay, so that
the
remains-
BJP
that-
has turned
that
these as
remains your
freebies.
principal
They've-
promises.
They've termed it as freebies.
Okay.
But even in the most developed countries, nobody pays for their children's school education. Nobody pays for healthcare.
Okay.
Now, having said
So
that,
those are principal promises. Let me get a quick comment
yeah,
also.
so
from-
I'm saying that that becomes the basis for what we have proven is possible.
Sure.
So we will offer it to people across the country because we believe it's a pain point irrespective
Okay,
of the
okay. Point taken.
family in
Point
Delhi
taken.
or in Karnataka.
Let me turn to JDS. Gangadharji has been sitting quiet for some time. So we look at your promises. There is a focus as far as development is concerned on ease of living, costs of living in your promises. What are the key promises, development agenda that you bring to the people? In brief, sir, so that we can cover more ground.
In the middle, the one question.
Yes.
I'm not getting, hello? Our party is not in favor of the 40% corruption of Mr. Kampanna or against also. We are not strict to percentage, but corruption is there in BJP government. That is 100% true. But 40% we don't know. Whether it is a 40%, 10%, 5% must be there. In Congress government also, Siddaramaiah, he expressed so many Shadi Bhagya, 7 kg rice to every poor people, so many other schemes. Sir. But it is not reached the end of a poor fellow. In the first day, second day, third day itself, because of corruption, it is distributed.
Okay.
That is the reason he could not re-elect in 2008.
Okay.
Number one.
We take that allegations.
One minute.
your
This is related
promises,
to the
sir, that
corruption.
Your main
Regarding the
promise, sir,
development-
why the people should be supporting you. This is your bastion.
Yeah, regarding the development, I am
Mysore.
answering your question. When Kumarasamy, by luck or a lottery, whatever it may be, people can say anything. We don't bother. So he became a chief minister. There was no scam, even in 2018 also, during the tenure of the Kumarasamy, number one. Number two, he has developed the state and he has opened 716 primary schools during his tenure, 1000 high schools, 500 PU colleges, 184 degree colleges, 7 engineering colleges, and moreover, he has NSS scheme for SC, ST, 350 Moraji Desai houses, and he waived 28,000 crores of farmers' loan.
Mr. Goda, what next is what people
Another,
would be
this is,
interested
we already achieved, we have already shown what is Kumarasamy, what is Janata Dal headed by. We are also having so many dreams regarding in the BJP government, they announced the Namma Clinic. It is a waste scheme.
Oh, specifically,
one minute,
JDS, sir, so that
One
we
minute.
save people's time.
Instead of
Specifically.
opening the Namma Clinic, we
have
are
less
already
time.
having primary health centers in Grama Panchayat level. We could have increased. We could have developed the.
So you propose to increase the number.
So our dream and our aim is
Okay.
education, health, housing, and using of youth, women empowerment. These are the schemes we are announcing in the
And you
Panchayat.
plan to take it forward?
Yeah, this is the major
Okay.
dreams and schemes of our party.
All right. Let me come to the Congress now. Mr. Hegde, promises of development almost resonate in a many manner as if we've heard it before. What is Congress presenting, promising this time over that you hope to attract the support of the people, especially the youth? A lot of young people are sitting here. What is your vision
See,
specifically?
we have
No allegations.
very clearly made our guarantees and we put it out. We are told 200 units of power free for every household. 2,000 rupees per family head, whoever is the woman, we'll be giving it to her. That is 24,000 rupees a year. 3,000 rupees for every stipend for a graduate who's not got a job. 1,500 for a diploma holder. 10 kgs of free rice. We've made it clear. But see, I'll be failing in my duty sitting down here if I don't recollect the name of Krishnarajendra Wadiyar, who developed this place, built the KRS dam here. In that time, we did not have the money, so he had to sell his mother's jewels to build this thing. That is why we are seeing the development across the state. Because first, electrified city, the roads, the water, that is what I call as a development.
Okay. And
Not
those-
only
those-
that,
those
see,
are your core promises. You've mentioned that.
not only that, sir, basically what happens is,
I want to know the bigger vision so that people get a clear idea from
See,
here, as they leave from here, that this is what the party has to present. You
see,
you made this
basically
point
when
about
we
what
try
you
to
also call
give,
freebies.
when we try to give equality to everybody, that is termed as freebies, subsidies. We are trying to be populist. But see, when in Kannada, if I have to put it, if you have to take care of his needs, if somebody is hungry, if you have to take care of his needs, if that is called populism, then what else do we have to do? See, whereas
Fair enough.
with the other side,
Fair enough. You
Subhendu
made
ji,
that
1
point.
minute, I'll just let
I
me
get that
complete.
point. I don't call it freebies. Comes to you as a political allegation. Let's.
So just 1 minute. Finally, I'll
Okay, okay.
conclude. 1
Any
minute.
point that you want to add
1 minute.
more
See,
about the
today
development?
what we are seeing is, whereas the same other way around, concentration of all wealth is going towards one person, Mr. Adani.
Okay.
Crores of rupees is being sanctioned.
You made that
Crores of
charge.
rupees is
We've
being,
taken you made that
cleared.
point. We've taken
No
that
problem.
point. You've made that
If if some poor workers or farmers loan, if you waive, it's called as freebie.
Fair enough. You've made that point. Let me come to you, Gaura ji. Double engine government, so the expectation also becomes double. What happens if the BJP does manage to retain power? Although the history in the past nearly 4 decades is that the ruling party, usually people of Karnataka, don't send them back. Why should they send you back?
Same thing was said in Tamil Nadu 2016, but AIDMK came back to power. That's okay. That's not the point. The point is, see, we have delivered on a lot of things, and our manifesto, the suggestions were taken even at the mandal level or even at the booth level, and our manifesto will be released on the 1st of May 2023. That is, and what and all we have done? Awas Yojana. 4 lakh houses are built. 14 lakh is a target. We need to achieve another 4 or 10 lakh. We planned for 15 airports. 9 are built. 6 more left. It's on the process. Now, Jal Jeevan Mission. We have achieved on the dashboard 45 lakhs. Connections, 66 lakhs. That is another 20 and odd lakhs. Is connections are happening, need to be completed. Another households in Karnataka, 1 crore 10 lakhs. Another 30 lakhs needs to be attended because another 10 lakhs already had in the cities. So that means that we will be completing Jal Jeevan Mission. Toilets, Swachh Bharat scheme, we have already completed 34 lakhs in Karnataka. We need to achieve another 30 and odd lakhs. We need to do that.
And Mr. Gaura, just
So-
want to slip in a small question. When you talk about the double engine government, the engine that works at the center, do you think the image, the presence of Prime Minister Modi's persona is becoming overwhelming even for the party in the state? Because your leaders also say, vote in the name of Prime Minister Modi, give Karnataka to Prime Minister so that Karnataka gets the best. What about the strength of your state policies and vision? Do you think that is a challenge or issue for you at all?
Even
Answer
the state government leaders, whether it was Yediyurappa ji or Bommai ji, have also delivered. Whether it is Vidyanidhi scheme, Bhagya Lakshmi Yojana, or pension schemes, or there are so many 130 anti-conversion bill, cow slaughter bill, NEP implementation, and schools 9,800 classrooms in each government schools, and cleaning of the toilets is a process in government schools. That is thought about. So we have worked out. Even the state leaders are also on the run. Agreed. Our Modi ji works 22 hours a day. So he stands tall. That is point number 1. Point number 2, even our state leaders are matching to his caliber. So we are trying to learn every day a new thing from Modi ji. So there is nothing wrong in if my leader is working, why should I not work, and why should I not accept his way of style or his vision to my state also? In Karnataka is not a standalone state, or it's not a federal by itself. So sorry, it's not a republic by itself. It's a federal system. We are all part of it. And
Mr. Gaura, that's what I meant, that, there is one thing to be inspired from a central leader, and it's quite another to be completely dependent.
We are not dependent. We are getting inspired by Modi ji, and we are moving. If he is moving for a few steps, we are also trying to move few steps with
Fair
him.
enough. Up to you and up to also for the people to decide.
The engines are going in the opposite.
This is what happens in a non-BJP government. Arvind Kejriwal pulls out in another direction when Modi ji is taking them in a right direction. We have seen lot of cases like this.
Right. So we avoid the change of allegations. Let me quickly come to you, Preeti ma'am, before we turn to the audience members. Just briefly about between the promises of development and fighting corruption. There are a lot of larger issues that we're not covering in this particular session, but do you think they have the power in many ways, whether it's caste politics, communal politics, that have the power to, in a way, destabilize this conversation on development corruption?
Like I said in the beginning, this time we didn't even talk about how less women have been given tickets, or how other genders have not been included, or how leadership issues across parties are looking very heavy to people already, that, we are only
Ma'am, we
talking
have given
of
around 11
particular-
tickets.
Sorry?
We have given 11 tickets.
Wonderful. BJP has given 14 tickets.
But
They have
that is the
given
point.
8. Yeah. So
I think for the people to
yes.
see how many
So
tickets have been given.
yeah,
Ma'am, complete your
wonderful.
point. We'll turn to the audience.
So
members. Very
I
briefly.
think this time the election is not is in a very confused state, and every party wants to make the best out of it.
Okay.
But I guess there is something like like you mentioned appropriately, that depending on a leader, this is what Congress did in its 70s and 80s. Depending on popularity of one particular leader has been a tried and tested method already, and
We'll have to see if that
it works
charisma
only to some extent.
works in
And
this
then if you do not deliver, and if you just depend on PR, this applies to all parties. I'm saying this, because every party is
Let me, yeah. That's an important point, I think.
increasing the budget on PR, with not on operations and
More on
functioning.
PR, less on
Yes.
development, but let's
So-
also turn to the people to quickly get some comments, questions on the themes of development and corruption, please. Ma'am, if you can have the mic.
Yeah, I just want to make a point that
sure,
this time, there is a sense that regionalism is going to work, and Congress is fighting this election like a regional party, and BJP is fighting this election like a party that's
National
fighting
party
at
and the double
in
engine,
national level.
idea.
Yeah.
We get that point. So can we have the first question, please? Yes.
I
Your
have a
name
question
and
about reservation. We can say that we have reservations in all the places by giving taking the caste. Reservations are there. Why can't it be the equal to all the caste?
For all the castes, yeah. Is this something I have to
What is the leader
answer?
that you want the question to be directed?
Anybody can answer. It's not
Yeah,
like
okay. So, if I can just take this question, for all the castes, there are less represented castes. Like for instance, let's say you're sitting in Tamil Nadu and there are Irulas. They have no political power, right? And there are other dominant castes that are living in semi-urban areas that have become a part of panchayat system. Then you have to create a provision for Irulas to come and participate in administration, to be part of the governance. This is how I understand why some castes have to be given reservation, and some castes will be a voter base. Like,
Upliftment, but we understand the idea that you're talking about equality. We take that point. Let's come to the second question.
Let me just answer
Yeah.
that question
Sure.
1 second. See, for example, what will happen is there will be more inequality in the society over this. Let's assume that I'm coming from a Brahmin community and my percentage in Karnataka is 2.8%. And whether I'm coming from a Vakkaliga community, which is around 17%, so that means that only 17 doctors are there. So this is not right. So what is the point is, reservation is given for the people who cannot get an access. For example, I am an urban Vakkaliga, I have an access to information how to get into a medical college or how to get into an IIM. Whether my counterpart in a village do not have that kind of an information. That is why he needs an reservation. That is a Vakkaliga from a rural background or something else, or a priest cannot. For example, a Brahmin priest cannot afford to pay almost a 7 lakhs free medical college seat itself is costing 70,000 in BMC. I have a friend, a family friend who cannot afford that 70,000. That is where
As a tool of social upliftment, we get that point, sir. We'll have, I think, just time for a couple of more questions quickly.
But just 1 minute, Subhenduji, just 1 minute, because it came from a woman. That question came from a woman about reservation.
But very briefly, sir.
Very briefly, very briefly. Yeah. Panchayat reservations, if it had not been given in the panchayat and local bodies to the women, 33%. Do you think women would be representatives today?
So I think
So,
again, we're coming back to
reservations
the idea of
are
upliftment.
required to empower the weak.
What about, all right, just one question we'll take and after that we'll winding up. Yeah.
ಸರ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಜೆಡಿಎಸ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾರೇ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಓದ್ತವನು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕಿಂಗ್ ಮೇಕರ್ ಬರೀ ಜೆಡಿಎಸ್ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾತ್ರ. ಅವರೇ ಮೇನ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಂತ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅದು ಏಕೆ?
Observation or a question? Oh, sir, it's an observation, but I think, but I'm afraid my producer says,
ತಮ್ದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆನೋ ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಲಹೆನೋ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಲ್ಲ.
ಸರ್ ಅದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಹಂಗ್ ನೇಮ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ, ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸರ್
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮತದಾರರು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಪ್ರೀತಿ, ಗೌರವ, ನಂಬಿಕೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ದೇ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಇನ್ ಫೇವರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯುಲರಿಸಮ್. ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಸಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹಿಜಾಬು ಬೇಡ, ಅಜಾನು ಬೇಡ, ದನನೂ ಬೇಡ, ಕುರಿನೂ ಬೇಡ, ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕು. We are not dividing the people. That is the reason everybody likes us. Okay.
This is very nice to hear, sir.
all right, all
No,
right. We'll continue this conversation, sir.
the word, one second, the English word secularism is misspelled by all other parties other than Bharatiya Janata Party, because Sanatanate is what secular means. It is an inclusive thought. And just because Britishers have dropped lot of things to India, secularism is another word, which was introduced in the Constitution of India in 1976, November 1st. Before that, India was very, very Sanatana, and after that it has become secular according to the opposition.
Okay,
And we believe in Sanatana principles.
Just one quick question and the final one. Just one quick question, if you can take it. Yes. We'll continue the conversation, but here.
ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಒಂದೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ರಾಜ್ಯ ರಾಜಕಾರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮಾನದಂಡ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾತಿ, ಧರ್ಮ, ಸರಾಯಿ, ಹಣ ಇದು ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ?
ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯೇ ಮಾನದಂಡ. ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ರು ರಾಜಕಾರಣ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಯುರೋಪ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್, ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್. Please remember this. Europe is been split over the caste and languages. Our country only votes if I identify a leader because of XYZ reason. And I don't think we should argue on that too much, but development is the issue and we are also fighting the battle on the development agenda. Caste is just for the ticket distribution for social engineering. We need to keep everybody, accommodate everybody.
All right. I think there are lots of more points to be made, sir, but by and large, we've got a sense of what the parties have to present vis-a-vis the idea of development and corruption. I'm afraid that's all the time we had in this conversation, session 1 of DD Dialogue, Development versus Corruption. Thank you very much for joining in. Let me quickly thank all the leaders who joined us, Shri Ashok Gowda, Suraj Hegde ji, Gangadhar Gowda ji, Prithviraj Reddy from Aam Aadmi Party, Preeti Nagaraj ma'am, thank you very much for giving your perspective. And thank you very much to the audience members for joining us. A big round of applause for you all for joining us today. And with that, we conclude this edition of DD Dialogue, session 1. Namaskar.